Oh my god, a new Quiet Place movie. So, yeah, a new Quiet Place movie, yeah. Sorry, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the Grandma's channel and welcome back to another movie review. And the movie we're reviewing today is another Quiet Place movie. Let's fucking go, man. We're finally gonna get a continuation of that very abrupt ending from A Quiet Place Part 2. It took them 3 years, but we're finally gonna get to see what happens next. Yeah. No. It's a prequel. But it takes place in the big and loud New York City. Yeah, so we're gonna see all these fucking monsters terrorizing this city. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be insane. Yeah, I definitely got a bit of that Cloverfield vibes. Yes, absolutely. And there's a cat. There's a cat in the movie, yes. There's a cat wandering around doing shit. Best character in the movie? Yes. And the movie is A Quiet Place Day 1. You would think we would get a part 3, but instead we got Day 1, which is meant to be a prequel to the first two Quiet Place movies. But this time we are in New York City. We're focusing on new characters and how they were able to deal with the quiet apocalypse when it all started. And yeah, I was a bit sad knowing that we weren't going to be able to see the family from the first two movies because, you know, part 2 ended so abruptly. I just wanted to see what was going to happen next. And, you know, knowing we would have to wait for a bit and get a prequel with new characters, I was like, dang, really? This is what we're getting. But then the first few trailers started coming out and I was like, this looks pretty fucking cool. Like the New York setting, the monster terrorizing everybody. It just looked like a very typical, fun, blockbuster action monster movie. And it just looked like tons of fun. It looked suspenseful. It looked awesome. So that's when I decided to go out and see it. So yeah, what did I think of A Quiet Place Day 1? Pretty solid. It was pretty fucking solid. It wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. It was definitely a lot more depressing. I was trying to think of a different word, but yes, it is a bit depressing. It's a bit of a sad movie with what they do with, you know, particularly our main leads, and how they treat them and stuff, and what they're going through, and their backstory, and it's a bit of a sad movie, but is it still pretty fun? Absolutely. All the monster stuff is very suspenseful, it's very fun, it looks great, but it's definitely a very sad movie. It's very fast-paced as well. Like, this movie went by super duper quickly, so I guess that really depends on how you feel about that, whether it's too quick of a movie, but yeah, it definitely zoomed by really fast. It's very fast paced, and yeah, it was an interesting time. It was fun and also depressing. It was an interesting experience. But yeah, before I get into some of my nitpicks or issues with this movie, let's get into some of the positives. I'll start off by saying that everyone's performance in this movie was pretty damn great. Lupita Nyong'o, who plays as Sam, the main lead in this movie, was pretty damn good. Obviously, throughout the movie, you know, she has to be quiet because it's the quiet apocalypse and stuff. She has to be pretty silent and very quiet. But for the most part, I'd say she did a pretty good job. And there is one scene where she really lets it out with her performance. It was a pretty interesting scene. It's definitely one that makes me want to rewatch the entire movie again, and just for that one scene. It was an interesting scene. It was a little slow, but a very interesting scene that I thought she did a really good job with. Yeah, I thought she was really good in this movie, and you know, her whole backstory and stuff, and how it starts and how it ends is it's something, man. I won't say, but it's something, man. It's absolutely fucking insane. It was. But everyone else in this movie, Joseph Quinn, who plays as Eric in the movie, who is basically working alongside Lupita Nyong'o's character, he was also really good. And you know, most people might, you know, shame on him for being an absolute pussy and, you know, being a little bit of a scaredy cat in a couple scenes and yeah, all that stuff. But like, it's realistic, man. He's scared. It's the fucking apocalypse. Of course he's going to be scared. So, you know, I respect Joseph Quinn for being a bit of a wuss in this movie, but it makes sense because, I mean, why wouldn't he? It's the fucking apocalypse. So yes, I enjoyed Joseph Quinn. I wasn't too much of a fan of his character Eddie in Stranger Things season 4. I thought he was a bit his performance and his character I didn't really care for that much. But thankfully, I definitely liked him a lot more in this movie, and I look forward to seeing what else he does. I know he's going to be the Human Torch in Fantastic Four, so I'm for sure he's going to do really well in that. And yeah, he was really good in this movie. I enjoyed him quite a bit. Very likable, and I enjoyed the main leads. They were good. They work well together. The first time they actually meet each other was, you know, pretty kind of adorable. I'm not gonna lie, just the way Joseph Quinn's character kind of just like follows her around and stuff. It was kind of funny. It was pretty sweet. I liked it. So yeah, I liked the characters. They were likable enough. There's a few other characters in this movie. I forgot his name, but a character who's played by Alex Wolff, who you might recognize from Hereditary. Obviously a very good actor, so I was very happy to see him in this movie. The man on the island, the character that we saw in A Quiet Place Part 2, and we saw in, the Day 1 trailers. Yes, he is in this movie briefly, but he's in this movie, and, it was kind of cool to see him and, this kind of shows that this does take place in the same world as the first two movies. So it was cool to see him in this movie briefly. That was kind of nice. Performances, characters, all that stuff was mostly pretty good. Yes, and I forgot to talk about the cat, Frodo. Yes, the cat was great. That's all I'll say. The cat was like the best thing about this movie, not the monsters or the suspense or the other characters. No, the cat. It was the cat. The cat was the best thing about this movie. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, love the cat. Speaking of which, all of the suspenseful monster action that we do get in this movie was a lot of fun. I think the trailers did kind of ruin it for me a bit. I think I may have watched too many trailers because a lot of the scenes, the stuff with the monsters, I kind of knew how it was going to go. So I think I may have watched too many trailers. That was my bad. I watched too many TV spots and too many trailers that I kind of knew how a lot of the monster stuff was going to go. Was it still really fun and suspenseful at times? Hell yes. Like, there were moments where I had my popcorn bucket in my hand and I was just trying to eat while something really quiet and suspenseful was going on, and I was just like this. Like, I don't know, just like really quietly trying to eat my popcorn. It was very suspenseful. It's very quiet, and that's like one of the main reasons I enjoy watching these movies in a cinema. It's just those moments, and it's just so it was intense. It was pretty fucking intense. So all the monster stuff was great. It was definitely a lot more intense than I'd say Part 2, because Part 2, like, the characters knew the monster's weakness, because they figured it out at the end of Part 1 what the weakness of the monsters were, and then in Part 2 they kind of just had, they basically had a secret weapon with them throughout the whole movie to prevent the monsters from attacking them. So that definitely made Part 2 a little less suspenseful. But this movie, they didn't really know how to take down the monsters, therefore it was kind of like, back to how it felt like watching the first Quiet Place. So that was definitely really good, and it made me enjoy it's suspenseful monster action a lot more. And yeah, all that stuff was great. I enjoyed it. It's just the trailers did kind of ruin it for me, and I think they may have shown a little too much. And this movie's incredibly short as well, so yeah, it all just kind of goes by really fast. So I think I just watched too many trailers, man. And when it comes to my issues or nitpicks, not really too much. It's a solid movie. I liked it. I wouldn't say it's better than the first movie. Maybe it's about on par with the second. I don't know. Maybe it's slightly not as good. I don't know. It's a solid movie though. It's very fast paced. It's very quick. Maybe a little too quick. But I liked it, man. I mean, I guess when it comes to the monsters, we basically learn nothing new about them. Like, this is called Day 1. This is when the monsters came to Earth. You would think maybe we would get a bit of backstory, learn more things about them. No, nothing. It's more about the suspense and hoping the characters don't get killed by these things than, actually getting to know the monsters and their backstory. So if you're expecting to go in this movie getting to know the monsters and their backstory or whatever, you'll probably be disappointed. But that's really it. It's a solid movie, man. And that's pretty much it. A Quiet Place Day 1 is just a really solid movie. I still think A Quiet Place Part 1 is still the superior Quiet Place movie, but I'd say Day 1 is about maybe on par with Part 2, I guess. I don't know. But it's still a pretty good movie. Performances from Lupita and Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn were really good, and I really enjoyed their characters. This is a very depressing movie, but it's also really fun. It's weird, but I liked it. It was solid, and I had a good time. And would I recommend you go out and see A Quiet Place Day 1? Yeah, fuck it, sure. If you like the first two movies, you will like this. For sure. It's a bit of an emotional movie. It's a bit of a sad movie, but like, the first two movies are pretty sad as well. Those movies have some pretty emotional parts, so this movie's, about the same. So I'm for sure you have a good time. But just don't watch the trailers. If you really want to enjoy the very suspenseful monster stuff, all the action and all that, just don't watch the trailers, and you'll have a good time. And that is going to be the end of my review of A Quiet Place Day 1. Hope you enjoyed. Oh man, it felt good being back in the movies again. I know it's only been a few months since I went and saw Godzilla X Kong, which was the last movie I saw in the theater. It's been too many months, man. It felt good being back. I'm not gonna lie. And a movie like this, it was like just the perfect movie. So sorry, off topic. I love going to the movies. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, thank you for watching my review of A Quiet Place Day 1. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in the comment section below what you thought of A Quiet Place, whether you liked it or not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.